Good afternoon, all of you who have signed on to this webinar. This is Priya Madhavan from Nasscom FutureSkills. So we're going to have an exciting 1 hour where we're going to hear about social engineering and OSINT from our content partner Skillsda. I'm sure many of you would have experienced social engineering kind of an incident in your life. I thought I'll just start off quickly to tell what happened to my mother, and probably she used her presence of mind and not get attacked. So as always, these calls actually lure you. So there was a call from somebody stating that he's from an insurance company and her policy is maturing and he needed her personal information. So luckily for her, she thought that she was sure that there was no insurance policy that was going to get matured at the time he was calling. And then she kind of said there's nothing that she wants to give the information away. But many of us probably would become gullible, and this whole presentation, I'm sure, will tell how to be cautious, and then what are the solutions that are there in place to handle this. A quick introduction about the two speakers. We have Ramesh Kotaram Ramesh. He is an entrepreneur, thought leader, cybersecurity and cyber management expert, and he's also the Chief Vision Officer at Skillsda. And we have Ashok. Ashok is serving as a trainer and digital forensic researcher for Skillsda. He holds a master's degree in cybersecurity, and he is currently pursuing his PhD in cyber forensics. He works for cybersecurity R&D projects for DRDO, ISRO, and MeitY. So over to you, Ashok, for the session.
Yeah. Morning, everyone. Hope it's good afternoon, right? Okay, thank you, ma'am, for your intro. So let me quickly start with the. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, it is.
My second screen. I've just shared my second screen. So before we get on to the actual session, I'll just share you a website. To just a minute, to save some bandwidth, for time being, I'm just stopping my screen so that I can save some bandwidth. So fine. So this is visible to all the participants, right? I'm sharing you a screen in which you will find some individuals. You just make a note of them. You can just keep in mind, like, whether you have seen them or else they are your Facebook friends, or else you got a request from them and then you put them in pending, right? So I'll just randomly give you some 10 images. Fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, you keep these images in mind. Fine. So at the end of the session, we'll just discuss on this. If at all you just got any friend requests from these profiles, or else you just you have sent friend requests to see these sort of profiles, right? We'll just discuss on that. You keep this in mind. At the end of the session, we'll just get back. So we'll get on to the actual session. As the name goes, today's session will be about social engineering and open source intelligence. We'll cover a bit of social engineering, as ma'am said, like that is day-to-day things. Everyone is victimized on other things. So we'll be covering a bit of social engineering, which you can see on the left side of the screen, SC. But we'll be interested in, because Skillsda's R&D, we are working mostly on open source intelligence courses and solving cybercrime related cases with the support of OSINT. So that's what the main important part of today's session will be on the right side, which we are going to do on the OSINT. As you can see the screen, right? You can see the left side of the individual is only her individual identity. The right side, you can see the numbers, wordings, and all sort of digital identity. Fine. OSINT is mostly dealing with digital identity. Social engineering is typically exploiting human vulnerability. So we'll directly get on to the actual session. So as I said, we'll be seeing a pinch of social engineering. A typical definition. What does social engineering means? It's a psychological manipulation to trick user into making security mistakes or giving away sensitive information. Simple. I know you. Maybe we both are friends. You say, like, I've showed you some images, right? We both are friends for the past 1 year, 2 years. So we create a trust. We create a relationship. After that, maybe me or you or else any mutual, we used to tend to share some information. We don't share our ATM cards, we don't share our PIN or passwords, but we share some information that is pretty sensitive. Fine. So these are the categories. We'll just quickly go through these categories. First category will be on hawk mails, in which individuals used to send a mail saying that, okay, you have just received a lottery, you have just received some other contents. Fine. So the first one category will be a part of the mail message. It will say, like, maybe nowadays it's trending. You see, they'll give you a photo or else they'll give you a small video. It might not be the actual YouTube video. It will redirect to some other websites. It will say your celebrity, your well-known celebrity is just affected by corona and it's getting serious. So we tend to click on the link, right? That is a hawk mail. One part of social engineering people used to do. Again, when we talk of social engineering, it's mostly non-technical, exploiting human vulnerabilities. But to exploit human vulnerabilities, a bit of tools and techniques and technology will be used. Not like the so-called hacking. Hacking is all about using tools, techniques fully for exploiting a vulnerability. But social engineering is exploiting human vulnerabilities, but supported by a bit of technology. Right? So hawksmail is one thing, most common things. Second thing and third thing is tailgating and tailgating. One thing you can see at the top right screen, we'll just get on to that. So tailgating is all about like any one individual. You imagine a corporate, one individual having a valid ID, right? He or she logs into the premises. There's a buffer time like 5 to 10 seconds in which the door will be open, still open. You can see another person, he or she might have a valid ID or else might not have a valid ID, a fake ID. So they enter the game. That's what they tailgate. When someone is going, just like piggybacking or tailgating them, the other person enters. The next thing is pretexting. Fine. Sending text messages for performing the social engineering attacks. Impersonating. Pretexting says like, okay, hey, I am from Amazon. I'm just going to give you a pen drive for $1. Amazon announced this $1 pen drive long ago just to improve their or else give a marketing stuff for them. But still now that is circulating in different names. It won't be real Amazon.com or real Amazon.in. It will be some offers.amazon.abc or xyz or ru or some different top level domains. So impersonating, as the name goes, right, someone will impersonate another and then they'll just create. Beginning of the session, I've just showed you some images, right? So if you have got any friend request from any of these images, right, they are impersonating as if someone else and then they might send a friend request. Or else you might know a person. You might know someone who just did schooling with you. Someone might get a pic of them, or else maybe someone within your circle or outside your circle get a pic of them. Create a profile which is a publicly available information. That's what we are going to see on the next phase. Something on OSINT. And then they'll send a friend request. The most common mistake which we do whenever we accept anything on social media is about mutual funds. We find some mutual funds, we accept them, right? We blindly accept them, right? So that is one thing. Dumpster diving is one of the traditional techniques in which like some of the sensitive information in companies, corporates, any places, right? So they are not shredded off. They'll tear the paper into 4 pieces and put it off. Or else in big corporates, they dump it without tearing even, right? So if this goes on to garbage, someone collects the information in the garbage, they'll get some sensitive information. Not only normal dumpster, we will be talking about a digital dumpster. Digital dumpster in the sense you delete something in your recycle bin, someone else comes, uses the same system, they have access to your recycle bin, so they can recover the files and they can get the sensitive files. Right? Shoulder surfing, another traditional technique in which, right, people used to sit and type the password, someone will be standing behind and seeing the password. Nowadays, the digitized social engineering for shoulder surfing is also active. What the company does, they place a pretty good 2x zoom camera just behind you, so that whatever you are typing is visible in the camera, it's recorded at all times. Right? Baiting scareware. Scareware is something like you have a pretty good antivirus, right? So you might have paid or a free version, you might be using it, you believe that, okay, it's going to safeguard your system against any sort of malicious programs. But one fine day your browser pops up and say that, hey, I found a virus in your system. What those sort of, they are called scarewares. What they do, right? So they'll, whenever you just click on some link, they drop a small sample virus in your system, local folder, and then they claim that they have detected the virus. Fine. After that, what will happen? They claim that, okay, you need to delete the actual antivirus and then you need to get on with this baiting tool or this scareware. Fine. Most of these antiviruses, what will be their names, right? Antivirus 2019 or else free antivirus 2020. None of the antivirus give the antivirus in the name of antivirus. They have their, you say, Avast, Avira, Norton. They have their own names with verified identities and URLs. So that is on creating a scareware, just making you scare and then making you click on the malicious or fake links. The final thing is most common. That's what the 80% of today's social engineering market works. It's all about phishing and spear phishing. One fine day you get. Nowadays even we are working with some of the law enforcement, and we are getting some cases specifically when it comes to educational institution, right? The mail goes like this. So you'll get a mail from your senior staff, or else you're working as a faculty. You get a mail from your HOD or principal saying that, hey, I'm in some pandemic. I just want some money. Give me something in the wallet. I want to purchase some medicines in Amazon, which is they're just going to deliver it in my doorsteps. So they'll give you a link saying like the link will just ask you to pay online, maybe 3,000, 6,000 or something. You say the same mail is sent to like you say typically you take a college, 150 employees are there, a medium level college. The mail goes to all 150 employees. The mail from ID says the principal name. The mail ID will be different. It won't be the principal at their college.com. It will be the principal name at gmail.com. But the first name and last name, whenever we open a mail, we'll see only the first name and last name. We at least bother about the mail ID from which it came. So in those scenarios, even we have just dealt with some cases in which faculties or teachers or professors so tricked on paying like each voucher on Amazon will be like 5,000. One paid 2 vouchers, one paid 4 vouchers. At the end of the day, like around some 1 to 1.5 lakh were looted. Right? So those sort of things are called phishing attacks. Spear phishing is pretty targeted, you know, right? Whenever you want to, if we find a pool, we have lots of fishes. I want only a specific fish which I'm interested. I take a spear and then catch the fish, or else prick on the fish. The same way, spear phishing is all about targeted attack, sending mails only to individuals. You say like I'm just sending a mail to only 2 or 3 people. If you say like if you are talking about Skillstar, I know the 2 or 3 top level management people on Skillstar. We'll see some techniques how to gather email IDs of individuals or people if at all it's publicly available. So only sending specific mails to them, tricking them to click or tricking them to open a link just for something, sometimes for financial gain, sometimes for spoiling their reputation, some sort of benefits. Fine. So all these things comes into a picture called social engineering, mostly non-technical attack to reveal trick users to reveal their sensitive information. Starting from hoax till spear phishing, all these are the most commonly used social engineering attacks. So you can see tailgating. One example of this, maybe someone is creating a fake page and phishing page and asking you to enter.
Ashok, we are not able to hear you. Ramesh?
Yes, Ashok. Not able to hear you. No problem. We will hold on. You will refresh. Yeah, sure. There is a small technical glitch on his side, so he's
Okay.
refreshing it in 2-3 minutes.
Okay. Just for all the people who are attending this session, if there are any questions that you would want to ask, you could use the questions option on your screen and then put out the question. It's more easier to track it on the questions rather than on chat. So please do use the questions option for any clarifications.
Also, end of the session, we will be explaining to you what Skillstar has got in terms of cybersecurity foundational course, a certified course offered along with Nasscom Future Skills. This is a very important step for you to go forward in your career path and to know more about cybersecurity. This course is completely curated with the industry standards. So when you do this course, this can be done even when you are in your second semester, third semester, and you don't need to do it only when you are in your final semesters. So what happens is that when you keep doing this course, you keep accumulating certificates, and your names are then, with the hiring team of large corporates, who will then look at you and what you are progressed, how you've progressed, and definitely come back to select you for in terms of campus placement interviews. Apart from that, you get to really know the fundamentals of cybersecurity in a very deep manner. There are a lot of, you have around 30 hours of theory and 15 hours of practicals. So it also enables you to get into a hands-on training mode with our mentors. So there are a lot of assessments, and as you continue doing the assessments, the mentors will understand where you are doing good, where you need a lot of support, and thereby they'll be available to take you through this journey. We will be definitely coming across and talking to your institutions regarding this. And once you see, we end of the session, you'll also be shown the link to click on to the Nasscom FutureSkills Edcast platform, where you can go and click and see how the course is, and then you can go to see the sample of the course, and then go and consume the course. There are some benefits coming out from the government after you complete the course, which we will announce separately in terms of what are those monetary gains that kind of compensation that you will get from the government side.
Is Ashok still having a problem, Ashok?
Yeah, I think he's still having a network issue. So there is some question. I have a doubt. Phishing mail may also come from an email which exactly resembles the email ID of a person in the organization. There is a way in the dark web which can send email with the same email ID and domain. Yes, you're right. You're right. So the distinction between the right email ID and a lookalike, there are many steps to understand between the original and the lookalike. In the next couple of slides that Ashok will explain, you will see how to distinguish between the real one and the near real one. There's one more question from Vignesh. If money is lost in these type of works, what are the ways or chance to get it? Okay, get it back. Okay. There is a timeline within which today the banks are saying that if you lose your money out of some phishing mail, or you need to report them, immediately, so that they'll try to block or trace or recover the money within 3 days time. But if you're going to inform the bank after 7 days time, then the hacker would have actually closed the track and would have, then it makes it very difficult to get your money back.
Yeah, I think what Ramesh is saying is like, if you take, most of the time, it will take us some time to realize that, oh, we have lost money. So that's where there'll be a delay and it'll be difficult to track back. But if it's done immediately, like when an alert happens, since all of us now in India, the banking is very good. We get instant messages if we subscribe for it. So when any activity happens on a bank account, we get an SMS alert. And if that alert is not because of our action, we can immediately report to the bank, and then the loss can be completely avoided.
So I see people asking Ashok to slow down.
Yes, I think we should inform Ashok.
It's also interesting to a little bit focus on what he's narrating, because in terms of cybersecurity parlance, if you are a hacker or if you are tailing a hacker, probably you cannot tell him to slow down, right? You need to pick up pace with the hacker and be on his tail to see where he is going and where he's emanating from. So it's also a good habit to, try to
Ashok is actually, Ramesh is actually, which is true actually. The speed at which the hacker works uh, is actually something that we have to work faster than that to be aware of it. But yeah, for the presentation, yes, we will request Ashok to slow down a little bit.
I think when he comes back, he's going to be more faster, so that he needs to complete the slide shots within the to compensate for the last time, I guess.
I think we have Ashok back. Ashok, are you fine now?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yeah, I have some technical issues with my system. So just a
Super.
minute.
So
General requirement from audience is to slow down a little bit. Can you please?
That will be the general comment. Sure, sure, sir. I'll do it.
I'm sure
Let
it
me
is not the
share.
first time, yeah.
Let me share my screen. Okay, I'm stuck with this.
Ashok is a specialist in cyber forensics, and lot of activities on his desk in terms of supporting the Tamil Nadu police and the police in Northeast in terms of forensics analysis of cybersecurity events and cases. And he's also
Ma'am,
doing his PhD in
Ashok,
cyber forensics. All these
ma'am,
things probably make.
hello.
yeah, yeah, sure.
Ma'am, I'm not able to find the option to share my screen. Like previously, when I joined the last time, I was able to find.
Okay, I think you
Okay.
need to be made as a panelist again. Nitish.
Share my webcam is available, but share my screen.
Okay, can you
Yeah,
share it now?
yeah. Now it is. Now I got the privilege. Just a minute.
Okay.
I'm sharing my primary screen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I hope the screen is visible now, right?
Yes, yes,
Yay!
it's visible.
Go ahead.
Okay. As per SAR's input, I'll just try to go a bit slow. When we are talking about social engineering, right? Exploiting human vulnerabilities to just trick users to reveal some sensitive information. So these are the attacks which we started. And then this is tailgating. Someone gets onto office, someone else without a proper ID or authentication gets onto the premises. Someone tricks you to ask, it will be sbl.com. They'll trick you to log in into sbi.com. They'll trick you to log in into sbl.com. Some sort of impersonating. They impersonate as if, see, that's what the example I showed you. Like they impersonate as if they are the principal of the college and send mail to everyone to trick them to click, or else to force them, or else to make them click on the link to pay something, some sort of monetary benefits. This is general, stealing username and passwords. And then the same thing, continuation, you can see on the bottom left corner, this is generally the logo or the icon for phishing, typically sending a bait. Fine, so you click on that, individuals will be victim for that. Anyhow, it will be like a financial loss or else personal information, some sort of compromise will be there. All things are going to come through emails. Most common mode of communication is emails. Then nowadays we are just started receiving it using our social medias also. So after this, to just uh, conclude with the first 30% of the slide, I have an interesting video, like maybe pretty 1 or 2 minutes video. Without complex tools, without software or extensive knowledge about a security platform, social engineering is an effective and non-technical strategy. You try everything. The network says firewall is good, the network is physically protected, everything is done 99.x. As we generally say, no network is 100% secure. We say 99.xx% secure. Fine. Still, there's a way that's called social engineering, which is having like a 100% probability of getting what you want, a sensitive information or financial details or some sort of things. So I'll just quickly preview this video. Let me increase my volume.
So I invited a few of the world's best hackers to try to hack me and show me where my vulnerabilities are. And now I'm going to meet them in Las Vegas for DEF CON, the biggest hacker convention of the year. They're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
You want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation. And basically what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it. Who are you going to call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider and see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm going to spoof from your number, so it's going to look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. my husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry. I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30 seconds,
At gmail.com.
Jessica gets access to my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing it? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message? Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account.
Jess uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry. So there's no password on my account right now. Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my password.
Thank you so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right. Thank you.
Holy shit. So they just gave you access to my entire cell phone account.
You're going to have to go on and change your password now because it's Jess, my name.
And all it took was a crying baby and a phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope if at all someone has seen this video, that's fine. But this is the fact, right? What happens in this video, it's like one of the largest world hackers convention, DEF CON, which regularly happens on Las Vegas. So this was in 2016, I think so, 14 or 16, past 4 years ago. So that time, like they just showed you as a demo, like how she's able to trick the maybe telecaller and then say like they are newly married, they had a baby, and then because the only thing which she used technically was spoofing his number. She used some softwares in which like the telecaller will receive a call in which like the number will be from the actual individual, that guy's number. So that is the only thing which she used some technical stuff. All other things are exploiting the human trust, human vulnerabilities, right? So that is generally on social engineering, the first part which I want to cover for the day. But we have pretty interesting thing which is not only for fun and profit, which is happening in corporates, companies, which the companies are now a bit more taking it severe, something called as open source intelligence. So the second half of this session will be seeing on OSINT, or open source intelligence. As you can see on this.
Ashok, before we go to the OSINT, I think it will be good to look at the questions and see if the questions need to get addressed for this.
Let me check with the chat box, right?
No, questions.
Right. Fine.
All the questions have been answered.
Just a minute. I'm not able to see the questions here. I have my chat box available.
No, I've actually specifically requested people to put in questions so that it's easy to track. Okay, I think whatever questions were asked have already been answered. Looks like.
Fine. Because yeah, in the chat box, it is.
Okay,
empty.
There was one question. No question. There was a question. I think Ramesh was answering. Probably you can also add to it. It says, I have a doubt. Phishing email may also come from an email which exactly resembles the email ID of a person of an organization. There is any way in the dark web which can send email with the same email ID and domain?
Sure, ma'am. There are possibilities. As you was mentioning about dark web, right? For example, if someone wants to send a mail in your name at nasscom.com or nasscom.co.in. So they can just find one thing what they want to do, right? They want to just create a fake email server. We call it as an relay or SMTP, SMTP server. So they'll create a fake email relay server. They'll put your domain, and then whenever there are two things in mails. Whenever we go for email forensics, right? We have SPF verifying the domain which you are connected, and then we have DKIM, that is certificate verification. So this SPF and DKIM will be available in your email headers. That will exactly verify whether you are Mr. Ashok, you are from this abc.com. So that will be verified. So as you was asking about the dark web, right, there are some tools, techniques, some sort of even paid cloud services which is available. So they can just exactly spoof. If it is saying like Ashok at Nasscom.in, they can create a same ID exactly as he said, a typical clone, fine, Ashok at Nasscom.in, and then they can send a mail. But once when it comes to, if it comes on to prosecution, if it comes on to any sort of forensic investigators like us, those who are working on the NFT, they can clearly differentiate and say like this mail is like, the actual mail is like 100% genuine, the other mail is like 90 to 97% genuine. Because of this SPF factor, DKM factor, we can conclude that this is not actually from the main domain. As he said, there is like 100% possible that can be spoofed. The identity with even with the name and the correct exact domain name can be spoofed. Have I answered the question, ma'am? Any? Hello? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, sir, fine. Can we get on to the next stuff, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, fine. So we are just getting on to the second of our session. That is OSINT. You can see on the screen, right? So SE is like only human. We are just exploiting the vulnerabilities in human. But this OSINT is all about exploiting vulnerabilities or just finding something is publicly available. You see, you just walk on the floor, maybe road, you just find a purse. The purse has some maybe credit card, debit card, or something is available. We don't leave it and go, right? We take it, we might use it for monetary terms. Someone is so good, they'll just hand over it in the police. The same way, OSINT is all about collecting publicly available information that is available on the internet. Fine. So we'll just get on to the flow. As you can see my slides, I'm starting from bottom up, OSINT. So we'll get on to the first factor. Who is, what is, when it, why, and how. So all these things. If at all, I'm just going to do an OSINT on skills data. Fine. So that my target, my scope is defined like I want to do an OSINT on skills data. Gather as much as public information available about skills data, their employees, their partners, all about them on the internet, and then make a report, or else give it to the company or agency. So open source intelligence is the collection and analysis of information gathered from publicly available sources. And that's what I said, like collecting publicly available information. And then there is no hack involved in general OSINT. There are some advanced OSINT which involve some sort of scripts, tools, and other things. But generally, when we talk of OSINT, OSINT is all about collecting publicly available information. It doesn't involve any hack. Something like a typical definition of hacking, which is given here: the practice of modifying data to accomplish your goal. Our goal is to collect publicly available information. That is called OSINT. But we are not going to do a hack. This is general definition of an OSINT. What is the need for an OSINT? So I'm saying like I'm just approaching Ramesh sir and saying like, sir, it's good to do an OSINT for our company. There might be a reply. Maybe if the newbies, whenever we just go for the companies representing OSINT team, right? They'll say, yeah, I know, like my company's information is available on the internet. That is the part of the SEO, SMO which we do. We are just getting lots of familiarities and on. So that is maybe you say like it's typically like a double-edged sword. One edge of the sword is typically just doing you promoting on lots sort of favors which you get it on the thing. The other edge is something like revealing some sensitive information. You can see the need for OSINT. Understand and reduce attack surface. Simple. Organization, individuals do an OSINT on themselves or their organization regularly. Not like that you do audits, right? Normally, most of the companies have better experiences doing audits on any level, network audit, cybersecurity audit. What they do, right? Whenever an audit comes, they do audit, they make a report, submit it, get it approved. Then next year, after 1 or 2 years, when the re-audit comes, they'll be working on them. OSINT should not be done that way. OSINT is typically like a cyclic process. You say like you are working with some sensitive information of banks and other things. We do OSINT for every week or every day. So or else medium level organizations every month, maybe like educational institution or like end users who's going to do, their OSINT can be done once in 6 months or once in a year, but it should be a cyclic process. It should be a repetitive process. So what we can get out of OSINT: understand and reduce the attack surface. So how much of my information, either my personal information or else my company's information, is publicly available on the internet? We can just find them. Whichever we are able to remove or else hide. Again, when we talk of internet, whatever we put on internet, it will be something like we put on Tirupati Hundi. It won't come to us. It will go to many people in different forms, but it never come to us. Or else we can't remove or we can't completely delete them. the same way. So understanding and reducing the attack surface is the first thing. Gaining awareness of threat actors, like who's going to attack me. I feel like I am a company here in my hometown. I'm the only one available in the hometown for this service. I'm pretty happy. But there may be a competitor who's trying to build a reputation, or else who are already into the market. So I'm just going to find the threat actor who is going to attack, or else the so-called hackers who is going to find, okay, this company is making some money, let me extort some money from them. Enhance intelligence response investigations, that's what. So if at all something happened, or else there's a probability saying that there's a ransomware attack hitting the whole world, even maybe our organization might be a victim, so we need to just prevent them, or else we need to patch the appropriate stuff. What kind of information we are going to collect? So that is one thing. As I previously informed, we are just going to collect only the publicly available information. How to protect info on with watch tool? There is pretty small tools and techniques which can just overcome, or else which can mitigate these sort of OSINT attacks. Is it ethical? Again, this is cat on the wall. Doing an OSINT with the proper authorization from the organization seems to be ethical. But with the same thing, if you are doing it for your partner, if you're doing it for your opponent, if you're doing it for a competitor, when we talk of privacy and those sort of things, it's unethical. So who can collaborate? I can individually, as a being a network admin of ABC or some company, right? I can't do OSINT on my own. We need to find some experts. We need to find those who are really good at OSINT. You can see, as I shown in the video, right? There are some groups that is available with DEF CON who do real world OSINT, and then they give you exact response on how to mitigate on that. How long we need to investigate? That is another thing. Again, as I said, it should not be a single time audit. It should be typically like an intelligence things, or else threat intelligence, which we do it regular phase. Finally, do we have a plan, purpose, and target? Not like that someone recommends this as a technique, you pay them, get a report, keep it for purpose, reference, and then use it. Things you need to have plan, like what is OSINT, what is the need for OSINT. If you really feel that my organization doesn't need so OSINT, we can skip it. But general purpose, like plan what is an OSINT, what is the purpose of doing an OSINT, what is the target, whom we are going to. We need to define a scope, what I'm going to do in this, what I'm going to exclude in this. That's what the typical white hat hacker does whenever we talk of hacking stuff, right? White hat hacker, or else the so-called ethical hacker, they define the scope, they know their boundaries, they do the attack, they create proof of concept, they do all the steps without maybe affecting the actual production or without spoiling the reputation of the organization, typically to patch those vulnerabilities. So that is one thing. What is the need for open source intelligence? Type of OSINT, as general category, they have passive and active. Passive, never been detected by the target, just like you see, right? I'm just going to collect information about Skillstar. I just see only newspapers. Whenever Skillstar is giving an ad, whenever they're just putting an ad, I'm going, Skillstar knows like the ad goes on today. Today the ad goes to Hindu. Hindu is going to be circulated like 1 lakh copies or something. Out of 1 lakh, they know this might be the reach, but they don't know like maybe whether I have just seen the article or not. But I might be collecting the information in the background. So those are all called passive information. Without touching the target, you are collecting information. Semi-passive appears like normal internet traffic and behavior. For example, I may visit your page and say like in the support team saying like, hey, I'm interested in a course. Give a dummy name, or else I give a real name who's not going to join for the course but collect information about the organization. Active is real world things, as you have seen in the previous video. They create fake identities or real identities. They get onto the things, they'll register, they even may pay for some courses. They register, they'll get all the informations. Then they start doing social engineering. You say like a course is offered, the course has 30 members, 2 instructors. They join. Their work is not to complete the course. Their work is to pirate the course, or else their work is to just hijack the course and give it to their mother concern. So in that scenario, what they'll be doing, right? They'll be just befriending all the instructors. They'll be befriending all the students or candidates, those who are participating there, and then they'll be just gathering as much as information possible. Fine. So we'll just see some examples which I have it in form of screenshots. Due to time constraints, I'm not able to show it live, but then we'll see some demo websites which we do. See, this was related to one of the private university which we are working. We are doing OSINT for them. So that was in 2018 when we started some R&D with them, right? They said like their university is going to get a status. Previously they were a college, and then their college is going to get a university status. We did an OSINT and we found lots of information, sensitive information which was publicly available, saying that okay, they got a formal approval from maybe Jan 2019. They are going to convert themselves, or they are going to publish or announce themselves to be a individual university. So we just first thing is, what is a domain? Previously this was a passive, just like typically collecting it from public news medias. Second thing is like some sort of semi-passive, finding what is a domain, which domain, you know, right? Whenever we talk of abc.com or skillstar.com, that's a website registered under the name. So the website, technically speaking, at the background they'll have a mapping we call it as DNS, domain name system, DNS mapping. The name of the website will be mapped to a IP. You can see here the IP and in which date it was registered and other things. Third thing, the same website, we're able to find what is the domain and what is the IP. You can see 182.75.255.23, one of the IPs which is available for the website. This is things. I have a target. The target is defined. Gathering some passive information from the news, media, all sort of things. Then active information. What is their domain, website? What is their actual website? How many websites they have? How many subdomains they have? So this is surface level, gathering basic information. So then after finding their website, finding okay, their website is running online live. Let me check some additional details. In their website, you say like you take a house or a building, how many entries are there? How many doors are there? You're going to find ports. Ports are called as virtual doors. You can see 20, 21, 80, 110, 143. Different ports are open in their website or else in their server. So that any of these ports are having a port or service. Let me take an example of a port called POP3. 110 is specifically for receiving mails. So that has they have their own mail server. That has a vulnerability. If I can find a vulnerability and exploit on that, there is a pretty good target to just have an attack on this victim. So this general level we saw when people used to do OSINT on surface level. We'll see some common tools and techniques that is used for performing an OSINT. Collection tools, record future, Patla, people, NetGlove. So most of these collection tools, right? So all these collection tools will be collecting information about either an organization, an individual, or else a group, right? So social engines, or sorry, search engines, we know we are comfortable with Google. There are many other social engines nowadays. They are enhanced with AI and machine learning and these sort of things. They're giving you pretty much precise results, not like giving a general Google results. So you can see iSeek is one among them we use for our general social OSINT things. Job searches, we find lots of juicy information on job searches. If I want to find whom I can hire, or else whom I want to find in my opponent company, so that I can get information about their projects, all those things will be available in the job search engines. Social medias, no, we are into it. We can't get back to our stone age. Everyone is using social medias. Your Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and all those of social medias. Final thing is intelligent sources. There are some vendors just like giving this OSINT as a service, like a cloud service or else a paid service. You can find these websites which are just going to give you precise information. You give a target, a company name, individual name, or else a group. They'll be able to just give you a fine-tuned, precise report on what is publicly available on the internet. So let us see something. I've just done a people search, typically with my name, because I don't want to. Ashok Kumar Mohan in India, you find many profiles. So the top 5 profiles, from that it clearly says like what is my name, where am I, which institution I have connected, all these sort of information is available here. The same thing when I get on to the next thing, I see the one of the institution which I was connected, right? So it clearly says like what is the future R&D, what they are going to do next. They are going to introduce a new technology. They are going to introduce a new course on artificial intelligence. So that is available here. So then something on OSINT, I'm just doing something on OSINT, say if I want to just study something on OSINT, what we need to check. So there is most of the thing, whenever we talk of OSINT, right, there's one of the paid tool which is available. They have a commercial trial also. MeitY tool, you just give an organization name, just like you see in movies, they'll form a graph. From the maybe the company CEO till the end level employee, their domains, their email IDs, everything will be listed in a graph format, table format, and given to you. So that is called MeitY. You can see, for example, if I'm searching for I have a competitive company, I'll put the competitive company's name here. I put a technology called MeitY. If there's a requirement saying that okay, I want a developer 2 years experience working on MeitY, to work on MeitY, salary is like 2 lakhs 4 lakhs per annum, I can conclude, yeah, my competitive company is also working on the same technology which I am working on, or else whichever I am planning to work. Fine. Again, when we talk of LinkedIn, generally when we just search for names and other things, surface level LinkedIn searches, we have some advanced tools for these searches to which will give you precise things. We are able to find like who are all associated with the education institution. If I'm saying like, okay, I want to just be from them, create a same or similar ID, give a connect request, and then build a relationship. Typically what we do in your social engineering. Fine. The next thing, one of this was one of the rumors which was predominant in those days, in 2018-19 when we did this OSINT on this thing side. It was saying that one of the celebrities visiting that campus. So every now and then the celebrities fans were just coming onto campus and asking their friends and asking, hey, can you get me a pass to get into the campus? I feel like my celebrity is going to visit the campus for his next film shoot. So all those sort of information. Right? So these are the juicy information that can be extracted from common OSINT tools. Fine. Again, when it comes to these things, right? So there is one sort of conclusion saying that we are not doing any sort of hacks. All this information are available on the internet. Whenever you search ashokkumar.com and people.com, Indeed, LinkedIn, and Google, you get the same results. But how you get the results? If it is in Google results, the actual individual which I am looking will be available on page number 3 or 4. But this OSINT tools precisely give you the exact individual based upon the input given. Right? What do we learn using or from OSINT? Fine. And these points are based upon my inferences, but these are not limited to only these points. Internal structure of the target. You say, okay, what is skills job? How many are working? What is the top level management? How many employees are there? What are their social pages? Surface level, typically doing a footprinting on the organization, that can be done. Physical information about the target. Physical information, what do we mean? One thing is their physical campus, where they are there. They have a branch in Chennai, they have a branch in Bangalore. Fine. So then physical information of their technology, or else the servers which they use. They hosted a server to one of the domain vendor which is available in Hyderabad in this location. Partners and associates. Who are their partners? Who are their associates? The information about them. Information about specific individuals, just like CEO, CTO of the organization. Company financial information. If at all they have just created a document that is available in the website, which is available only for a specific group. There is a technique called GHDB, Google Hacking Database, which is most commonly used by the beginner level hackers. They used to use this GHDB to find specific scripts to gather information. One thing I want to say here is, like, you remember, like previously, just before 6 months or 1 year, there's the most commonly used scanning app called Cam Scanner. That Cam Scanner was banned, even it was removed from Play Store, having some backdoors, and then it again came into picture. Now, whomever have uninstalled that app, now we started installing again and we started using it, right? But you see, like, there you go for Google Docs. At the end of the session, if time permits, we'll just check on to that. We go for a Google Docs, we find some information, we'll say, like, I'm going to do a Google Doc for photos that were scanned using Cam Scanner related to gov.in. So clearly it will give which are all the documents that have some contents related to gov.in that is scanned using Cam Scanner. It may be available in government website or else any third-party websites. That will be pulled up. The images, the PDF files, document files will be pulled up and it will be showed on the Google's results. Right? So then again, as I said, like, yes, including the physical location also, will be able to get their company server on their physical location and other things. Recent people hired who have been hired recently. Recent people fired who have been fired recently. Company events, what all the company events, they're going to launch a new talk or they're going to launch a new product. Partner events, which partner of them is going to launch a product and what is the contribution of this company over that product. Then job openings, as I showed you, some sort of Indeed or Naukri sort of job searches. Competitors, who are their competitors. Final thing is metadata. As I said, you get a document, a PDF document, you download the document, you just extract metadata. Metadata is, whenever we talk of metadata, it's typically we can define it like data about data. You have a photo says this is a certificate issued by Skillstar for the certification. Fine, you download the photo, you extract the metadata, right, or else right click on go to the properties. It clearly says this photo was created using a computer called RAM. The computer is sometimes it will give some additional information about the computer, which date it was created, which date it was modified. It was created using a Adobe PDF reader. So those are all data about data. Again, those are all additional juicy information which we can extract about an individual or organization. Again, we have some challenges. Fine, ever expanding information source. The volume grows in size as well as complexity. That's what we talk about big data, volume, velocity, veracity, these sort of things. So older days, OSINT is pretty easy. You go 10 years before, when people are not aware of OSINT, OSINT was there in terms of different names like threat intelligence and those sort of things. Finding juicy information about the competitor and then using it for finding their vulnerabilities and then exploiting them. So this is general on the first part. Second part, which I want to show, previously we had a small video on social engineering. This video will be something on OSINT, pretty interesting. Let me open that. Ik zie een school tegen onze. Ja. Insecten. Alsjeblieft. Ik voel 2 insecten op je rug. Kan dat? Ja. Vlinders. Sloveniet, hè? Een moto. Oranje. Panzer op. Zenit. Oui, bien. Je hebt een vriendin.
Jullie, ik ben het liefdesleven. 3, 4 zo.
De vierde, daar zwijg ik meestal over, dus dat weten niet veel mensen.
Dat is mijn spierscheur. Une maison rouge, balcon. Ja. Ik zie geld, ik zie transacties, maar kent je rekeningnummer van buiten? Ik denk dat ik het wel weet. Het staat wel negatief op je bankrekening.
Ja?
9-7. Last month, you spent €200 on alcohol. Vorige maand €300 aan kleding gespendeerd. 8,
Ja.
5. Voor een huis dat van eigenaar gaat veranderen. €250.000.
Eigenlijk.
41.
Ja.
Eerst.
Ja, dat is het. Oh my god. Oh man. Ah, ik vind je eng.
Yeah, we can see as we saw in this video, right? So the individual who claims to be like a prophet or someone, he says like, I'll just predict your future. So before that, before entering the premises, just like 10 or 20 minutes before, they just got their basic information. What is your name? Maybe what is your address and some sort of which place you live or some sort of mail IDs, which is publicly available. They collected it. They gave it to the background team. Meanwhile, this person had a connectivity and he says like, initially he was saying the name, address, street, very fine. But second thing, the second half was scary. He was even able to say like, you are just interested in selling your flat. Or else the last 4 digit of your credit card is something like this. Last month you spent €200 for alcohol. Fine. So again, recently you broke up with your previous boyfriend and then you got your new boyfriend. You're just going to get into your new boyfriend's house 2 weeks after. So all these things. So whenever we talk of whether is it possible, someone might say yes, no. To be on safer side, we'll say maybe, yes or no, cat on the wall. But this really happens. So the final models which they have shown here, like people sitting with masks and something, that is typically sort of exaggerations. So normally not all so-called hackers sit on dark screens and do. Hackers are people, those who current day scenario, they are your friends, they are your relatives. Those are going to go and find a YouTube video for 13 minutes and then use it to hack into you. They are called script kiddies. Only not, it's not a category like only people those who know sophisticated coding can become hackers. Even a 10-20 minutes YouTube video can teach you a beginner level hacking stuff. Fine. So this is a possibility. So that individual, they say like they revealed all sensitive information about the individual just within a max fraction of 15 to 20 minutes. Then we go and imagine like what's happening on internet. How much of our information is publicly available on internet for how many days or how many years together. If we are a target, if someone wants to target us and do on social engineering, we can just think of the complexity of the consequences. So ethics general, see whenever people do OSINTs, right? So just like when you join a company, you'll have an agreement saying that you should not do this, you should not browse facebook.com, you should not use company's property for outside, general ethics. But again, OSINT is again a gray hat. You can't go at all times, you can't be legitimate being a white hat. So it will become a black hat and white hat, being legit, good or bad in between. So it should not involve invasions of privacy. You might have heard of GDPR. Even in India, we are just going to, there's a bill, it's in place, which might be made as a law, like the privacy bill. Fine. So if those sort of things comes into picture, there might be some restrictions on OSINT. But in current day scenario, OSINT as a part of threat intelligence, as a part of incident response, as a part of digital forensics, OSINT is done as integral part of these sort of things. There's a main difference between OSINT and espionage. That's what is given here. You can see on the screen. Espionage is if you want me to give it in plain text, it's all about spying. And there's a main difference between doing an OSINT on an individual with proper authorization, with approval, maintaining the limits and ethics. And there's a main difference between spying. If you cross the limit, you're just actually spying on the individual. Right? So next part, we'll get on to I. Prosthetic or digital identity. Prosthetic is something like cooked or else fake or else something made it artificial, right? So whenever we talk of digital identity of an individual, right? So we'll see two things: non-digital identity of me, you. What might be? It might be the relationship, son, father, tutor, fine. So these are all numerous identities which we have a relationship, which we can find individuals, right? So these are all non-digital identities, right? In which we are just currently we are connected, fine. If you know, like I know you, or else I'm just connected with my dad, we can have a relationship. This is my dad, this is his son, we have a relationship. But when we get on to the digital era, right, that's not like dad and son. It's all about identities. Yeah, you are my Facebook friend, you are my Insta friend, your credit card number is this, my credit card number is this. This is created by digital contact, right? In the relationship between individuals, groups, or organization based upon their digital identity. Their digital identity can be their name, their number. If you take whole of India, right, all our digital identity will be our other information, right? Based upon other information, the information is collected. The same way, see, human beings with digital prosthetics means the artificial information which is collected. A body without organs, right, it's not going to look good. The same way, current day scenario, if I'm saying like, hey, I'm Ashok Kumar Mogan, I'm from this locality, the next thing, someone who's newly adding me as a friend, their question will be, yeah, okay, just let me know your WhatsApp number, or just let me know your Facebook ID. If you are saying about a company, they'll ask, okay, where your company is located, right? So something like location, latitude, longitude, IP, everything which is in terms of zeros and ones, your digital identity, contribute to the prosthetic identity. That's a digital identity. So this is in I part. The main part, familiar OSINT tools, mostly Python based, the tools which we are using. Google Docs, Census, Showdown, Recon, Harvester, different tools specifically work for a specific purpose. So I'm just taken because all these tools, if you want to demonstrate, that's what Skillstar is planning. We're just going to make it as a beginner level, intermediate, and advanced level courses, which you can have a hands-on and then work on these tools. Due to time constraints, I'm just going to give you just what is the tool and what it does. Census, listing all the publicly available devices, so-called internet connected devices, your server, maybe your company's actual data center, whatever it may be, which is publicly available, connected with the IP, a MAC address, which belongs to your organization, or else you just got a cloud space in the on your name. Everything will be available in Census. Likewise, same way like Census, Shodan is also available. The predominant thing which we use, Shodan.io. Again, Census, how the code works, and then how they are used. If you give a name like Skillstar India Chennai, it will give exactly give, okay, what is Skillstar, how many servers are available in their name, how many public IPs are there, where exactly the data center is located. If at all the ports and protocols are open, it will list you the ports and protocols also. Fine. The same way as I said, the another tool which is most common used called Shodan. Reconnaissance, as the name goes, reconnaissance, finding information about your target enemy. If you want to find what is the organization, when it was registered, whose name it is registered, how many employees are working, all things can be sorted out. Again, how to put an API for this recon. Harvester, most commonly used tool specifically for gathering information. If you say like, I'm giving the same example, skillstar.com. I want to find how many employees are working on Skillstar. Also, I want to find how many mail IDs are there. I am just going to do a phishing campaign. I'm just going to send a phishing mail to all the employees and check like who is vulnerable. So this harvester, you give the harvester command and you just extract, it will extract all the IPs, it will extract all the publicly available Gmails. For example, you get into organization, you typically pretty good, you get onto a big level organization. You just get onto a website of a university. University is going to have like 1,500 employees and 4,000 students, you say 6,000 individuals. I just go to university's website and then using this harvester tool, gather all the email IDs. Email ID will have a syntax, right? Your name at your domain name dot some domain .co.in or .ac.in. So this tool will just extract all the email IDs and give it to you. So now your tool is ready. So with this input email IDs, using any tool and technique, we'll be able to send a phishing mail for everyone. If you want to send it to only to the top level management, you can send on a spear phishing. Right? So then again, OSR script specifically for finding email IDs and other things. Spiderfoot, as I said, is similar to the paid version of the tool called Multigo. So they are searching something called force jump. So what is the organization? What are the social profiles they have? So how it is connected? What was the recent post they posted? Everything will be available here. Geolocation, either geolocation of the individuals, their IDs, or else the geolocation of the company's server where it is located. That can be sorted out. And then big web application, finding additional information about, okay, the server is located in Hyderabad, hosted on some data centers. So what is the server OS they are using? What is the server OS they are using? So what is the version of the OS? Whether there is a vulnerability, whether I can go to a website, download a script and put it into the server. If it is vulnerable, I can get the access to the server, or else I can extract some sensitive information from the server. So all these things come. T-info leak, another thing. Then results of Infolic, they are just typically searching for the keyword called force gem, and then they are able to get the results. Specifically related to hashtags, Twitter related things. Collecting some contacts. Okay, this is in surface level. Anyhow, then we'll just I'll just show you some demos which will give you some insights on how it works. So before getting on to the actual things, this video anyhow it's already one. I'll just share this video offline because this video is again an interesting video which will be using it for showing how vulnerable we are on internet. Find this video demonstrates saying like what is the service which we get on internet. So what is the service which we get? It's internet. What is the type? It is free. Free in the sense like anyhow we are just paying for your net pack and other things. But Gmail we are getting it for free. Facebook we get it for free. Any social media profiles, any common website which we go and pay, what we do, so which we go and register, we get those websites, get those logins for free, right? The so-called free. But we know, right? We are giving some information. We are giving our username. We are giving our password. Sorry, we are giving some username. We are giving our mail IDs. We are giving our address, something like that. So that is the so-called data, the rough data which we have, which we give it to the website, is a valuable information for them. You know, Facebook, right? Till now, Facebook is free. Their revenue model is something based upon the ads, but the usernames, the location, the likes, the shares, the photos which we put, all which we share them for free, is their asset. With that only they are making the business, they are making the revenue. So as the top title which you have given it about GAFAM ecosystem, right? GAFAM is generally giving abbreviation for Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, and Microsoft. Let me say you again: Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, and Microsoft. So none of us can just claim that maybe I'm not using any of these five. We say like we are just rolling back, or else we are in a stone age. Because whenever we connect to internet, whenever you are starting using gadgets, your mobile, laptop, desktop, or anything, any one of these things comes into picture. Either Microsoft comes in, either Google comes in. If you are pretty luxury, and then Apple comes into picture, Facebook comes into picture. When you want to buy something, Amazon comes into picture. This was the ecosystem, right? All the days the ecosystem says what is the water body nearby, what is the animals nearby, what are the human habitats nearby. But current day we live in an ecosystem called GAFAM ecosystem, where we are digitally connected using these sort of big shot companies who's just extracting or using. That's their revenue model. They do. We can't complain on them because they are giving everything for the so-called free, right? So that is one thing which I want to just say about the future of OSINT, right? What can be the future of OSINT? What can be done? So we'll just get on to the demo part. Just give me some time. I'll just open the demo part which I have. So again, let's get back to the first thing, the website which we went at first when we started the session. Fine. Let me open this. So I'm refreshing it again. Any answers? Like, have you seen these individuals whom I have already shown? Fine. So these individuals, right? Individuals might have heard of some technology like neural networks, artificial intelligence. None of these images which is shown in this screen, right, are real. They are 100% fake images. Maybe always when someone wants to create a fake image, what we do, we'll just cut their eyes and put it in another one size. It will clearly say it's Photoshop. But you can see this, right? It looks like 99.x% pretty natural, or else pretty genuine, right? So all these images whichever I'm just displaying here are fake images which is created using an algorithm. Now we can imagine if at all you are getting a friend request from any of these individuals. This is like US UK based. The same technology is available to create fake identities for any origin. You can just create for Indians, Africans, Australian, any origin, right? Only for the proof of concept, this data set which is available, they are giving creating. You can see like this face looks like an Indian origin individual. If you get a friend request like this, and then I looks like, okay, this looks similarly like my aunt or someone, fine. It can be a fake one. So anyway, when I just want to get onto the actual thing, right, I'll just demonstrate or show you some websites in which say I'm just searching for a company. I'm just searching for skills. Yeah, fine. It's going to give you some 5 results. See what it's pulling up, this website. It's exactly pulling me up on results saying like, so again, some paid versions will give you the full email IDs. It's a trial. It's showing you saying like contact at, career at, support at, help at, someone at. it's giving me the publicly available email IDs which is available. The same way which I showed you the command liner harvester tool. This the website is giving me the publicly available email IDs from the website. Right? So the next thing is like WebMe is another one which is interesting, which we used to see. I'm just going to search my name. I just don't want to exploit others. Again, I was doing this sort of social engineering, OSINT sort of research. You might have IDs in 4 or 5 social medias, maximum 10 social medias. I have my IDs in 100 social medias. That was part of my research which I did previously. Fine. So you can find my identity everywhere on the internet. Fine. Again, not much sensitive information. So you find information, don't rely on that. That may be fake or cooked information which I used it to create my research articles. So it clearly says where am I, what all my results. Say, give my photo, where I am connected, what was the institution is I'm connected, what all the previous talk which I gave. Let me, if ever I am just putting something on my future talk, it will just give what all the future talks I'm going to give. So I hope, if I'm not wrong, this is my pick 1, 2, 3, the pick which is commonly available. See where I published my article 2 years before. I published the article on things related to cybersecurity that is available. Fine. So this is another website which is going to reveal information. So let me show you another one. Social searcher. Fine. I'm just checking for users. Just a minute.
I think we're over time.
Okay, fine. With this, I'll just close. I'm just going to search for SAR's name with this permission. I'm just searching SAR's name. Just searching for users in this. Let me search. It will give some results. Okay. One important thing which I want to show. See, it's pulling up all information about Ramesh, and it's giving me what are the details. If you're using the paid version, it will give like what all the recent posts, tweets which they put, what is their previous partner, what is their current partner. Everything will be available on this. I hope we are running ahead of time. Already we are late by 5 or 7 minutes because of that delay which we had. So I'm just closing it here. So what we have covered now is all about the bird's eye view of social engineering and OSINT. Fine. So you have seen only the bird's eye view, surface level, what is social engineering and what is OSINT. Again, it's not like a conclusion saying that this is OSINT and this is social engineering. Fine. There are lots of R&Ds those are working on advanced level OSINT. So now we are talking about what OSINT is in 2015 or 20. There's already a team working on how OSINT will be on 2030. Fine. So I have a general disclaimer which I used to regularly put. Whatever images, copyrights belongs to the vendors, those who are there. And then about me, you can do an OSINT, Ashok Kumar Mohan, my number. You find most of the things publicly available, are not sensitive, much of sensitive information. Okay, this adult industry things I just okay. I don't know. I just give an introduction. See how OSINT will be there in 2030, or else how this digital identity will be there in 2030. Nowadays we are addicted to mobiles, right? Whenever you are missing a mobile, we'll feel okay. My mobile is not there. I want to just I'll be searching for a mobile. You say you go to 2030. There are some robots that is available. These sort of robots, when we talk about this Harmony sort of robots, right? Nowadays they are pretty costly. Maybe 20, 30, or even 70 lakhs each individual robot cost. Just like smartphone prices were there before 20 years. But immediately after 10 years, these robots will be coming at pretty cheaper cost, just like you buy a car or a vehicle or else a bike or something like that. Each individual might be having their own personalized robot, having an app connecting with them, building a relationship with robots. In those days, OSINT will be in a different dimension. If you want to know something about you, I can steal your robot, or else I can just hack into your robot and then get all information. I don't want to go and inquire individuals or your relatives or your friends to collect information. So I had a video, Joe. I'm just skipping on that. Fine. Okay. So fine. This is all about social engineering and OSINT, which I want to cover for today's task. Again, as the name goes, it's a Kickstarter. Just we had a pinch of, or else a drop of OSINT in surface level, social engineering and OSINT. So I hope it's done from my side. I have taken additional 10 minutes. Sorry for the delay. So that's it, done from my side. Any questions from participants or anything which I want to answer, I am open to answer.
Thank you very much, Ashok, for this dynamite session on social engineering and OSINT. I'm sure that has really kickstarted the interest of the participants today, and I'm sure they will all come offline to OSINT you and also to ask you questions. And very interesting to see, their options or their interests. So thank you very much for that. And to the participants, Skillsda is partnered with Nasscom FutureSkills to deliver the cybersecurity course. And may I request Shankar to put on some details about Skillsda here. Yes, so from the first slide, please. Yeah, so Skillsda is an ISO 9000 certified company in cybersecurity, and we have our course alignment certificate given by Nasscom FutureSkills on foundation course in cybersecurity. Very, very important. And we do support you in terms of virtual labs and simulator-based training. Shankar, next one, please. So this is our virtual lab and simulator lab in which you will be training after you do the Nasscom FutureSkills course, foundational course. We'll also show you the course details. So this is a 45 hours course, as I mentioned earlier, 30 hours of theory and 15 hours of practicals, and very well curated, very well subdivided, and very easy paced learning. You should go and click on to the link that will come on the next slide and see the course and consume the course. One of you, please. Can you roll the courseware? Yeah, thank you. So this is the brochure of the course. Keep rolling, Shankar. Yeah, and the link for the course, please. You can go to the nasscom.edcast.com site and yeah, you can go to Skillsda course and thank you very much for being present here and wish you all the very best.